Everyone has a wish they want to keep forever, and this is the story of two hearts connected by one unforgettable wish. This is Zara. Zara was a quiet soul with a kind heart and a smile that often hid more than it revealed. To the world, she was just an ordinary college student, but behind her calm eyes lived countless thoughts and unspoken feelings. She was someone who cared deeply for others, yet she was still searching for something she couldn't explain: a purpose, a connection, and a reason to feel complete again. She had learned to stay strong even when life became difficult. But deep inside, Sarah carried a silence that only a few could understand. She never knew that one day some would enter her life and help her discover a feeling she had been missing for so long. And this is Jack. Jack was a kind person. He was calm, patient, and someone who believed that every person deserved to be heard. He did not show kindness through the big words, but through the small actions that made people feel valued. Neither Zara nor Jack knew that their paths crossing would become the beginning of a story, with emotions, distance, hope, and a wish they would never forget. Many people in this world carry countless wishes within their hearts, and those wishes seem to multiply rather than fade. They chase one dream after another, believing that happiness lies just beyond the next achievement. Yet they rarely pause to ask themselves what they truly desire. In their restless search, they mistake endless longing for purpose, never realizing that some wishes belong to others, expectations rather than to their own souls. Perhaps the saddest part is that many travel this path alone. They have no one beside them to help them see their own worth, to remind them of what they truly need, or to show them the dreams they genuinely belong to them. And so, one day, they discover that life itself has passed them by. There is a girl named Zara, a quiet college student who has carried a hollow ache within her ever since her father passed away. His absence has left a silence in her life that no amount of laughter or family gatherings can quite fill. Each morning, Zara walks through the bustling corridors of the college with a gentle smile. Around her, conversation rise and fade like distant music, and the friendships she keeps feel fragile, more like habits than true connections. She listens, nods, and joins in when expected, yet a part of her remains apart. The person who seems to understand the unspoken sadness in her heart is her cousin, and his name is Jack. Their conversation became the biggest moment of her day, offering a beautiful comfort. But slowly, that comfort begins to change. What once felt like a simple friendship grows into a tender warmth that fills the emptiness with her. With both hope and fear, Zara realized that she has fallen in love. One quiet evening, Zara sat by the window of her room, watching the last traces of the sunlight fade beyond the rooftops. Her phone rested in her hands, its screen glowing softly in the gathering dusk. For nearly a year, she and Jack had spoken almost every day, and with each passing conversation, The affection in her heart had deepened into something she could no longer deny. Yet the thought of confessing her feelings filled her with both hope and fear. The night Jack sensed the sadness in her voice and asked, "What's wrong with you?" Her eyes filled with tears as she admitted how desperately she missed her father. "I need my dad," she said. "I want him back." Jack listened in the silence before offering words of comfort, reminding her of the strength she had shown through her loss. "I wish I were there with you right now," he said softly. "Maybe you'd hand me a tissue," she replied. "Perhaps what you really need is a hug." Zara drew a slow breath. "Not just any hug," she said. "The one I long for is the kind that lasts a lifetime." For a heartbeat, Jack did not understand. Then, gathering every ounce of courage, Zara confessed that it was he who had quietly become the center of her world. His kindness had filled the empty spaces with her heart. Jack also admitted that he had loved her too, but had feared that speaking the truth might somehow tempt fate to take her away. For a time, life seemed almost gentle. Zara and Jack continued to speak, their conversation unfolding like pages of a book, filled with laughter, confessions, and the future of the dreams. Zara knew that a love hidden from the world could not remain hidden forever. Sooner or later, she would have to speak to her family or else walk away from the very thing that had brought light back into her life. There came another burden, the need to be completely honest with Jack. One evening, gathering all her courage, she told him about a brief chapter of her past. Before he had entered her life, there had been someone who had catch her attention for a short while. She knew that that was never love. Maybe that was a attraction, perhaps only loneliness seeking comfort, or a misunderstanding of her own heart. She feared that her confession would wound him. Instead, Jack listened quietly and then admitted that he had already known. He had remembered every story she had ever shared with him. And though the truth had stung, it had never lessened what he felt for her. His love, calm and unwavering, remained unchanged. Sarah was feeling guilty. Through the tears, she apologized and assured him that he alone held her heart. Jack asked for a single day to gather his thoughts, but the hours that followed felt endless to her. For the first time in her life, she knew exactly what she wished for, and the possibility of losing it filled her with the fear. In her mind, Jack had become her last and most precious wish. When he finally replied the next day, his words lifted the weight of her soul. He would not leave her over painful truth. Love, he told her, was stronger than fear or mistakes. He asked only for one thing in return, that she never hide anything from him again. I promise, Zara said, a small breaking through her tears. I will never. In the days that followed, a quiet understanding settled between them. One evening, after a long silence, Jack spoke with steadiness that made Zara's heart sink before he had even finished his sentence. I don't think it is right for us to keep talking like this, he said softly. When I am worthy enough to ask for your hand, I will come back. Then and only then we will speak again. For a moment, Zara closed her eyes. The strange thing was that she had been preparing to say those very words herself. She too believed that love deserved patience, dignity, and the blessing of a future built openly rather than in a secret. Yet hearing him say it first felt like watching a door close on only place. She agreed through every word, tasted of sorrow. Together they made a promise that neither of them had ever imagined making. From that day on, they would never speak again. No messages, no late night conversations, no stolen moment of comfort. The next time they met would be in the real world, if fate allowed it and the time was right. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument could have been. Tears slipped down Zara's cheeks as she said, I'm going to miss you so much. I don't know how to live even a single moment without you. Jack's voice, though gentle, carried the weight of his own pain. Distance hurts. Distance hurts, he admitted, but we must do this for you, for me, and for the future we hope to share. Promise me you'll keep smiling. She tried to answer, but then the call ended. The room fell unbearably still. The screen of her phone dimmed, leaving only his final message glowing in the darkness. I will miss you. Zara held her phone to her chest and wept, realizing that sometimes the deepest acts of love are not found in holding on, but in having the courage to let go and wait.